Hey, Diamond. Wait, no, this is Silver Division. What the heck? I don't want to hear tips from some noob. This is actually at the very start of the season, I believe. The start of the December season. So you get reset. I went all the way up to rank 17. As opposed to my rank 5, I think I was at. This is actually as far as I go during the season. I played about maybe a dozen games and got up. I kept rising and falling. I never really got serious about this month's season. I kind of got sidetracked in other stuff, which is a big reason why I'm doing these VODs at all, is to kind of make sure I don't forget the major things and stay relatively in touch with the community and the YouTube channel and everything. I'll probably get back up to rank 5 again, at least rank 5 this January season. So immediately I'm getting rid of his Dervish. I think that was a +1 attack one, which you definitely want to get rid of, because if not, then it's just going to be trading like crazy efficiently all throughout the game. And since it's in a place in the middle of the board, I don't really have much of an option not to take care of it. I guess it's a secondary strategy if I didn't want to Pado it, or if I didn't have a Pado, even worse, is that I would stay back on my side. Okay, you know what? That was the +1 health, the white one. So it's a bit of a waste on the Pado then. Another strategy is to kind of sit back in the back corner, make him, or kind of position myself towards the middle, so he keeps placing those obelisks around, but then backing up and placing my units behind me, so the dervishes can never actually reach me. And then if I need to burst them down, I'll send something in. But the problem with that is you can't rely on those cards to pop up whenever you need them, you know? So right here, a very common Songhai strategy, one-hit KO kind of strategy, is to get lots and lots of damage. And when I say one-hit KO, I don't mean literally one-hit KO. I mean very few large damage attacks kind of playstyle. So even if he's going to die, he got out there, he got his backstab, he did lots of damage, he survived. And he also took the pressure from that dervish off my Songhai champion. Whatever his name is. General, that's what it is, General. I hop between like Dota, Smite, League of Legends, Duelists, and they all have their own names for, you know, the unique characters, champions, gods, heroes, champions. Did I say champions? Generals. And then planeswalkers and magic. Everyone's got to have their own little unique name. So I'm continuing on with that strategy of just trying to get as much damage on him as I possibly can. And if I recall correctly, I think he just kind of he does the most annoying thing that a Songhai can go up against. He just repeatedly puts himself in a corner and then blocks all avenues off. He'll just completely huddle himself with his units and his minions. So I could never get a minion close, which leads to some interesting thought process of how to get through that defense. You know, it's like, this isn't like Metal Gear Solid, right? You can't just sneak past those minions to stab them in the back. You have to solely use ranged, which is actually why it's so important to have the Heart Seekers in your deck. For really any Songhai deck, it's so effective of a card. And really, I should be thinking about throwing in some more like Jax's and Jaxi or whatever it's called. The 1/1 minions that summon in each corner, and it would help a lot to have ranged units around the map, because those will attack the general no matter what, you know. It's saved for very unique situations that don't actually really happen. Like, there's one card I guess you could use if ranged ever became like a huge problem, where you must attack, you know, this unit. I forget what it's called. I think it's called like Windstopper or something like that. But I doubt a time like that will ever come. So here he is, you know, he's blocking himself in with all his minions. Can't get through that armor. So I'm pretty much just relying on the fact that I can get enough spell cards. So what, I don't use my Phoenix Fire there. And you may be thinking, why not just use it, you know? I want him to think he's safe. I want him to think he's out of the kill zone. If I immediately bring him down to 1, he's gonna go. His brain is gonna go into panic zone, and he's gonna want to heal up or trying to burst me down as fast as possible. I want him to think he's safe, and then surprise him with this Phoenix Fire. So he gets a Star Fury off here, which is not good. He gets rid of my range, and I'm kind of running out of options here. I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember this game. Okay. So, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to. For the rest of the game, I pretty much bide my time as much as possible to try and get any cards that could help me. Like, any cards that could move a unit, any range unit, any spell card, anything. I was looking for it. And I don't think I found a single one past the Phoenix Fire. And even if I did have a card that can move my units, it wouldn't matter. I can't get rid of that Potto. I can't spell away that Fort 4 over there. And the Obelisks have too much health. So this is pretty much how you beat the Songhai. And by not having any more range units, this is like how I lose. How could I have done this differently? I think, honestly, it's just variance. I know it sucks to say that because you can't, but it's something that just is a part of trading card, or I shouldn't say trading card games. You don't trade. Online collectible card game. There you go, collectible. There's always going to be variants. Like if I had pulled, an extra buff or an extra spell card at any point during this, next 5 minutes, I would have won the game. But I just simply don't. But then again, he could have pulled a bunch of heal cards and, would have went a different direction. But it's just something that happens. I'm sure there's some small things I could have improved in the early game. Like not using that Potto on the... I don't know. I just chalk up the variants and I don't worry about it too much. And I just try to... limiting the variants is important. So like maybe... I can limit the variance of this kind of thing happening by having more Spiral Techniques on my deck. And the Spiral Technique is the 8 damage card. Or I could put more range units instead of a Scarlet Viper, I could have put a card in that gives my unit my general range. It's just stuff like that. So, actually, now that I think about it, that kind of makes like these VODs are useless if all I'm going to say is like, oh, it's just variance or, build your deck better. That's kind of what it is, really. And I guess maybe the purpose of these videos isn't necessarily to catch mistakes. It's more so to kind of talk about what I'm doing, maybe give some insight, or maybe just have something to play in the background while you play. That's definitely what I do with Trump's videos a lot. I wouldn't say modeling myself after, but I definitely look to him to be like, okay, how is he doing this? It's not necessarily because he's successful, but because I like the way he does it. And also, this helps kind of consolidate my thoughts about what I think is good, what I think is not good, how I could change my deck, how could I, like going through this video just now makes me realize that I should probably have more range units in my deck. Going through the Lion-R VODs will make me think I should have more low-cost units. But anyway, that is it for this VOD review. Thanks for watching. And I haven't said that in a while either. Hey, we get another VOD review. I think we're actually going up against the same exact guy from last time. Judah's the Silver Division Vitruvian. So once again, I've been deranked back to 17 after the November season. And actually just stay here at Silver Division for December. It's not a big deal though. I'll get back up to rank 5 or whatever soon. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't really, I could probably brute force my way through it with like an aggro Lion-R or a Healing-R. I doubt I could do it with Songhai right now. But I'm kind of placing my bets on a Magmar deck that I'm making with, of course, the core design of it being centered around the Sylvari Elder I don't really feel like playing, like 100 games with a 55% win ratio. That's not that fun for me. I want to take a deck that is just completely overpowered or just like totally fun and get all the way to the end. Which is why I despise playing Healnar, even though I use it to get to the high ranks. And that's just to kind of see what everybody's doing, feel out the meta. Because once you're in that rank 0 to 10, you kind of like, okay, this is what people are doing, kind of thing. But when you get 10 plus, it's more like, I'm just kind of playing around with stuff where the decks are incomplete. But anyway, onto this game. So immediately I got rid of his blast unit. I had no way of getting to it, unless I had that Phoenix Fire. But I guess maybe I didn't. I just drew into it or I didn't want to use it. I want to get rid of it because blast can be quite the pain when you're not able to deal with it, and he can buff it a whole bunch. So I kind of got rid of it as soon as I possibly could. So I get a nice little, at least a 2-for-1 here on the Kaido Assassin. And I know it seems weird that as a one-hit KO Songhai to be going for board control when you're typically not supposed to. And I say, you're not supposed to. But I found it to be convenient or his units to be annoying enough to get rid of. Like the blast unit. He gets a nice little convenient blast off here. Get rid of my Kaido. I wonder, is that a 3-3 by this point? Did he use Bush on? Oh, wow, it's a 4-4. That's not good. And I don't have an unexhaust for my 2-5 Crimson chick. So I just go for the Mana Crystal, open up my options, put that behind me. That seems like an okay idea. You definitely don't want to place it in range of that 4-4. Oh, but you know what? I'm in range of his blast, though. That's not good. But it does have 5 health. For him to get to 5 attack, I think his only other damaging artifact is +2 attack. So I'm not too worried about that. But still, he's a 4-4. And now I place the Fire Blaze, which seems to be really... Oh, man. Now, Windstorm Blade, Obelisk, that's a big problem. I think that's technically considered a Dervish. Yeah, it is. So that's going to be hurting me pretty bad. And now he's moving himself into a corner and limiting my options entirely. So he's off on a really good foot right now. To get both of his obelisks in such a position like that. I'm already at 14 health, which is just awful. So I think because I've already tried going for board control by this point, that I've pretty much already lost. I'm going to place that unit down somewhere, but it's going to get destroyed almost immediately. And I'm not going to be able to get rid of these obelisks. If I do put time into getting rid of those obelisks, he's going to have enough time to fill his board with a bunch of other, annoying units. So I can tell you right now that I've already pretty much lost. I just lost in the early game. He was able to get a lot of his low-cost minions out that are very annoying to deal with. And then he got both those obelisks out, which I had to immediately deal with that. Once it was a 2-2, but now it's a 5-3 or 5-5, whatever. And it did, pretty bad number on me. If I were to get out of this, and it's just getting worse by the minute. And since he's probably never gonna get his back out of that spot, I'm never gonna be able to backstab him. Backstab him is huge for extra damage and limiting his retaliation. And all the while he's buffing his board up quite a lot. So now since I can't get rid of those dervishes, those obelisks rather, every future dervish is gonna be so much more powerful. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like I was saying in the last video, it sucks to chalk it up to variance. But that's pretty much just what happened here. I just can't deal with those obelisks and still maintain a chance at winning the game in the late game. I suppose if anything was gonna save me, it would be Lantern Fox. But as you can see here, I don't have an unexhaust. If I had an unexhaust and Lantern Fox, I could probably win. But his board control was just too much for me to deal with. Yeah. Oh well.